It's a difficult conversation, isn't it? One that many men dread having, even with their closest friends, let alone their doctor. You feel like time is catching up, and certain parts of your body just aren't performing like they used to. There's a frustration that builds, a quiet worry about intimacy, about feeling vital and capable. It impacts how you see yourself, how you relate to your partner, even your general confidence day to day. You might have tried different things, maybe felt discouraged, or perhaps just accepted it as an inevitable part of getting older. The doctors might offer options, sometimes involving complicated procedures or medications with side effects you'd rather avoid. It can feel like a one-way street heading towards decline. But what if I told you there's another perspective? What if I shared something remarkable I learned not from a textbook or a conference, but from a patient? A man who, at 90 years old, surprised everyone with his vigor and, yes, his ability to maintain truly robust erectile function. As a surgeon who deals with these issues regularly, I've seen a lot, but his case was truly eye-opening. He didn't rely on expensive drugs or complex therapies. He had a simple daily ritual, a collection of habits he'd built over decades that kept him going strong. It wasn't just one magical thing, but a tapestry of simple practices. In this video, I'm going to share elements of that daily ritual with you, breaking down exactly what he did and why it made such a profound difference. Stick with me, because by the end, I'm going to show you something that will genuinely surprise you about how simple healthy aging can be. Let's begin with the very first element of his day, something he never, ever skipped. This wasn't about strenuous exercise or complicated diets starting at the crack of dawn. His mornings began quietly, but intentionally. The first thing he'd do upon waking, even before getting out of bed, was a specific kind of gentle movement. He'd start with deep diaphragmatic breathing, taking slow, full breaths that expanded his belly, not just his chest. He'd do this for a few minutes, focusing entirely on the rhythm of his breath. This might sound incredibly simple, perhaps even insignificant, but there's powerful science behind it. Deep breathing helps to lower stress hormones like cortisol, which are absolute villains when it comes to healthy circulation and nerve function, both essential for erections. High cortisol constricts blood vessels and can blunt the body's natural responses. By starting the day calmly, he was setting a baseline for his nervous system, moving away from the fight or flight mode and into a more relaxed state where blood flow can operate more freely. He told me it also helped clear his head, preparing him mentally for the day. After a few minutes of breathing, he would then move into a series of very gentle stretches, still often before fully leaving the warmth of his bed in the colder months. These weren't dynamic exercises, but slow, deliberate movements aimed at increasing flexibility and circulation. Things like gently rotating his ankles and wrists, doing knee-to-chest stretches while lying down, and slow twists of his upper body. Nothing that felt like a workout, more like waking up his body gently. The key here isn't building muscle, but promoting blood flow throughout his entire body, including the pelvic region. Stiff joints and muscles can impede circulation, and gentle movement helps to loosen things up. Think of it like coaxing the pipes awake rather than shocking them with a cold blast. He'd spend maybe 10 minutes on this, just moving thoughtfully. He explained that consistency was far more important than intensity. Doing a little bit every single morning, without fail, added up significantly over the years. Then came his morning drink. Not coffee straight away, although he would have a small cup later. His first drink was a generous glass of lukewarm water with the juice of half a lemon. Again, incredibly simple, right? But this habit supports liver function, which is crucial for processing hormones and toxins that can otherwise negatively impact erectile health. It also helps kickstart the digestive system and hydration, both vital for overall well-being and, yes, healthy blood flow. Dehydration is a surprisingly common culprit in poor circulation. He wasn't gulping it down, he'd sip it slowly while getting ready. He viewed it as a cleansing ritual, preparing his internal environment for the day ahead. He'd often add a tiny pinch of cayenne pepper to his water too. This might sound odd, but cayenne contains capsaicin, which is known to help improve circulation by stimulating blood flow and potentially helping to relax blood vessels. He wasn't looking for a fire-breathing experience, just a hint of warmth. Breakfast itself was also quite deliberate. Forget sugary cereals or greasy fry-ups. His breakfast was simple, focused on whole foods that provided sustained energy and essential nutrients. Often, it was a small bowl of traditional rolled oats, soaked overnight or cooked slowly, topped with a few berries and a sprinkle of nuts and seeds, walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds. The fiber in the oats is fantastic for gut health, which we now understand is intimately linked to overall inflammation and hormone balance. Berries provide antioxidants, fighting cellular damage that can affect blood vessels. And the nuts and seeds are packed with healthy fats, like omega-3s from the walnuts and flax seeds. Omega-3s are powerful anti-inflammatories and crucial for cardiovascular health, which is inseparable from erectile health. Remember, the penis relies entirely on healthy blood vessels and good circulation. Foods that support your heart and circulation are also supporting your erections. He wasn't rigid about it. Sometimes it was scrambled eggs with a bit of spinach on wholemeal toast. The principle was always the same. Whole, unprocessed foods rich in nutrients that support his body from the inside out. He never rushed breakfast. He'd sit and eat slowly, often reading the newspaper or just looking out the window. This mindful approach to eating is another subtle layer of stress reduction built into his day. Following breakfast, before the day's main activities began, he'd have a short, brisk walk. This wasn't a marathon, maybe 15 to 20 minutes around the block or in his garden. The purpose wasn't endurance, but getting his heart rate up just slightly, promoting circulation, and getting some fresh air and natural light, which helps regulate circadian rhythms and mood. This gentle cardiovascular activity is fundamental. Regular, moderate exercise improves endothelial function, the health of the lining of your blood vessels. Healthy blood vessels are flexible and responsive, able to dilate properly when needed, which is absolutely critical for achieving and maintaining an erection. He didn't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. His own 2 feet were enough. He told me this walk was his transition from the quiet morning into the active part of his day. It was a signal to his body and mind to prepare for what was next. He didn't listen to music or podcasts. He simply focused on his breathing and the feeling of his body moving. This deliberate presence in the activity, no matter how brief, added another layer of mental clarity and stress reduction. It might seem like a lot of small things, but combined, these morning habits created a powerful foundation for the rest of his day, setting the stage for optimal physical and mental function. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds sensible, maybe even a bit obvious, but the magic wasn't just in these morning steps. It was in the consistency and the other layers he added throughout his day, particularly focusing on something many people overlook. Moving into the middle part of his day, after those foundational morning rituals, his focus shifted slightly but remained anchored in nourishing his body and mind. One of the most fascinating aspects of his routine was his approach to hydration throughout the day. It wasn't just about drinking water when he felt thirsty. He had a consistent habit of sipping water or herbal teas at regular intervals. He understood that proper hydration wasn't just about feeling quenched. It was essential for maintaining blood volume and viscosity. When you're even slightly dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, making it harder for your heart to pump efficiently and for blood to flow freely to where it's needed, including the pelvic area. He wasn't drinking excessive amounts, just ensuring a steady intake. Herbal teas, particularly those known for circulation benefits like ginger or green tea, were his preference over sugary drinks or excessive caffeine later in the day. Green tea, for instance, contains compounds called catechins that have been shown to improve blood vessel function. Again, it's about supporting those vital circulatory pathways that are non-negotiable for erectile health. His approach to meals throughout the day continued the theme of whole, nutrient-dense foods. Lunch was typically something light but satisfying. Perhaps a substantial salad packed with colorful vegetables, lean protein like grilled chicken or fish, and healthy fats like avocado or olive oil dressing, or maybe a bowl of lentil soup with a slice of wholemeal bread. He made sure every meal included a good source of protein and healthy fats. Protein provides the building blocks for tissues, including muscle and connective tissue, while healthy fats are essential for hormone production. Many people, as they age, don't get enough protein, which can lead to muscle loss and a general decline in vitality. His focus was on quality over quantity, ensuring his body had the fuel and materials it needed. He was particularly fond of incorporating foods rich in nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a molecule that helps relax and widen blood vessels, playing a critical role in achieving an erection. Foods high in nitrates include leafy greens like spinach and kale, as well as beetroot. He often included beetroot in his salads or as a small juice. This wasn't a fad for him, it was just part of his normal eating pattern, woven into his daily meals. Another crucial element of his daytime routine was managing stress and incorporating moments of genuine relaxation. He understood that chronic stress is a silent killer of erections. When you're constantly stressed, your body is flooded with adrenaline and cortisol, which divert blood flow away from non-essential functions like sexual arousal and towards muscles needed for fight or flight. He didn't live a stress-free life, nobody does, but he had simple built-in mechanisms for dealing with it. This wasn't about meditation retreats. It was about brief, regular pauses throughout the day. He might spend 10 minutes sitting quietly in his garden, just observing nature. Or he might listen to a piece of classical music without doing anything else. Sometimes it was simply closing his eyes and taking those few deep breaths we talked about earlier, right in the middle of the afternoon. These moments of mindful disengagement allowed his nervous system to reset, lowering those stress hormones and promoting a state of calm that is much more conducive to healthy physiological function, including sexual function. He said these pauses were like little islands of peace in his day, helping him stay centered and prevent stress from accumulating. Physical activity continued in the afternoon, but again, it was never overly strenuous. This might be gardening, doing chores around the house, or another short walk. The goal was to avoid long periods of sitting. Prolonged sitting is detrimental to circulation, especially in the pelvic region. He made a conscious effort to break up his sedentary time. If he was reading or watching television, he'd get up every 30 minutes or so to walk around for a few minutes or do some simple stretches. This constant, gentle movement helped maintain blood flow and keep his muscles and joints limber. He wasn't training for a marathon, he was simply integrating movement into the fabric of his day. This consistent, low-level activity has a cumulative effect on cardiovascular health that intense, sporadic workouts often don't achieve as effectively in older age and with less risk of injury. He wasn't pushing himself to exhaustion, just ensuring his body was active in natural, functional ways throughout the day. This consistent blood flow prevents stagnation and supports the health of those tiny blood vessels essential for performance. Perhaps one of the most surprising aspects, at least initially, was his absolute dedication to what he called pelvic floor awareness. This wasn't about doing hundreds of Kegel exercises, though gentle ones can be beneficial, but about simply being aware of the muscles in his pelvic region and ensuring they weren't constantly tense. Many men hold a surprising amount of tension in their pelvic floor without even realizing it, especially when stressed. Chronic tension here can restrict blood flow and affect nerve signals. His awareness was more about consciously relaxing these muscles periodically throughout the day, particularly during his stress-reducing pauses. He'd simply focus his attention on the area and consciously release any tightness. He might do a few gentle Kegel squeezes, just lifting and holding for a few seconds, a few times, but it was always about relaxation and awareness first. This subtle practice likely helped maintain healthy nerve function and blood flow in the area over the long term. It's a part of the body often overlooked, but absolutely central to the mechanics of an erection. So, throughout his day, from the moment he woke up until the evening, his ritual wasn't about heroic efforts or deprivation. It was about consistent, gentle support for his body's natural functions, promoting circulation through movement and specific nutrients, managing stress through conscious pauses, staying hydrated, and supporting his internal systems with whole foods. These weren't isolated habits. They were integrated seamlessly into the rhythm of his day, becoming as natural as breathing. And this seamless integration, this lack of forced effort, is a key part of why it was sustainable for him for so long. It didn't feel like a chore. It was just his way of living. The beauty of it was its simplicity and consistency. These steps taken together create an internal environment where the body is simply able to function optimally, including in areas often thought to decline inevitably with age. Next, we'll delve into the evening part of his ritual, which was just as crucial, and then we'll tie it all together and reveal the most surprising element of all. As the day drew to a close, my patient's ritual didn't stop. It simply shifted focus towards rest and preparation for the next cycle. The evening was dedicated to winding down, allowing his body and mind to transition from activity to repair. A critical part of his evening routine was his dinner. Following the pattern of his earlier meals, dinner was typically light, eaten earlier in the evening, and focused on easily digestible whole foods. He'd often have a portion of lean protein, plenty of cooked or raw vegetables, and a modest amount of complex carbohydrates like sweet potato or brown rice. Eating earlier gave his digestive system time to process the food before bedtime, preventing discomfort that could disrupt sleep. He avoided heavy, fatty meals late at night, as digesting these diverts blood flow away from other areas and can put a strain on the system while it should be preparing for rest. He also limited alcohol intake significantly, especially in the evening. While some might think alcohol is a relaxant, it actually disrupts sleep architecture and can negatively impact hormone levels and circulation over time, which is counterproductive to erectile health. He might have a small glass of red wine occasionally with dinner, but never habitually or in large amounts. After dinner, his routine was centered around relaxation and disconnecting from the day's stresses. This is another point where the stress management piece came into play strongly. He didn't spend his evenings glued to screens, absorbing potentially stressful news or stimulating content right before bed. Instead, he'd engage in calming activities. Reading a physical book, listening to gentle music, or having a quiet conversation with his wife were typical. He might do some gentle stretching or simple yoga poses to release any physical tension accumulated during the day. He also had a habit of taking a warm bath or shower about an hour or two before bedtime. The warmth helps to relax muscles and can promote blood flow, aiding the body's transition into a restful state. Again, these are simple, almost mundane activities, but their consistent application builds a powerful cumulative effect on the nervous system, promoting relaxation and reducing the lingering effects of stress. The cornerstone of his evening ritual, however, and perhaps one of the most impactful elements for overall vitality and, yes, erectile function, was his absolute dedication to sleep. He treated sleep with reverence, understanding it wasn't a luxury, but a fundamental pillar of health. He aimed for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every single night, without exception. This meant going to bed and waking up around the same time each day, even on weekends. This consistency helps regulate the body's internal clock, known as the circadian rhythm, which influences hormone production, including testosterone. Adequate sleep is crucial for testosterone production, and while testosterone isn't the only factor in erections, healthy levels support libido and overall sexual health. Furthermore, sleep is when the body repairs itself. Blood vessels, nerves, and tissues all undergo repair processes during sleep. Chronic sleep deprivation is incredibly detrimental to cardiovascular health and hormonal balance, directly impacting erectile function. He ensured his bedroom environment was conducive to sleep, dark, quiet, and cool. He didn't have a television in the bedroom and avoided looking at screens in the final hour before lights out, as the blue light can interfere with melatonin production, the hormone that signals your body it's time to sleep. He also incorporated one specific supplement into his evening routine, recommended by a nutritionist he saw years ago. It wasn't a miracle erection pill, but something that supports overall metabolic health and circulation. This was a small dose of magnesium glycinate. Magnesium is a mineral involved in hundreds of biochemical reactions in the body, including nerve function, muscle relaxation, and blood pressure regulation. Many people are deficient in magnesium, and deficiency can contribute to muscle tension, poor sleep, and even affect blood vessel function. The glycinate form is easily absorbed and known for its calming properties, which further supported his stress management and sleep efforts. He didn't rely on a cocktail of supplements. This was one of the few he took consistently, focusing on foundational support rather than chasing quick fixes. So, his evening ritual was a deliberate process of winding down, nourishing his body lightly, managing stress, and prioritizing deep, restorative sleep. It was about creating the conditions for his body to heal and regenerate overnight, ensuring he woke up feeling refreshed and ready for the day. The consistency of these evening habits amplified the benefits of his daytime routine, creating a 24-hour cycle of health-promoting behaviors. It wasn't about extremes. It was about small, sustainable choices made consistently, day after day, year after year. Looking back at his entire daily ritual, the gentle morning movements and breathing, the simple, nutrient-rich meals and hydration, the intentional stress pauses, the consistent physical activity integrated throughout the day, the pelvic floor awareness, the relaxing evening routine, and the unwavering commitment to sleep. It seems almost too simple, doesn't it? Especially when compared to the complex medical interventions often discussed for erectile issues. And that, perhaps, is the greatest surprise of all. His secret wasn't a secret at all, not in the sense of being hidden or exotic. It was simply the consistent, dedicated practice of fundamental health principles that most of us know about but often fail to implement consistently. He wasn't doing anything revolutionary. He was just doing the basics incredibly well, every single day. He wasn't chasing some fleeting trend or relying on external aids. He was building health from the inside out, focusing on the foundational elements that allow the body to function as it's designed to. Healthy circulation, balanced hormones, a calm nervous system, robust cellular repair through sleep. These are the building blocks of vitality at any age, and they are absolutely critical for maintaining healthy sexual function. His rock-hard erections at 90 weren't a fluke. They were a direct result of decades of consistently treating his body with respect and providing it with what it truly needed. The surprise isn't some magic pill or exotic food. The surprise is the profound power of consistency in applying simple, fundamental health habits. It defies the common narrative that significant decline is inevitable and irreversible. It shows that with dedication to the basics, you can maintain a remarkable level of function well into old age. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress and consistency. You don't have to adopt his entire ritual overnight. Start small. Maybe it's adding that glass of lemon water in the morning, or making sure you take a short walk every day, or committing to a consistent bedtime. Each small step builds on the last, creating momentum. Remember, these aren't just habits for erections, they are habits for a healthier, more energetic, and more fulfilling life overall. Improved circulation benefits your brain, your heart, your muscles, everything. Reduced stress improves your mood and mental clarity. Better sleep boosts your energy and resilience. So, I encourage you to look at his ritual not as a daunting list of demands, but as inspiration. A testament to what is possible when you commit to nurturing your body consistently. You have the power to make changes that can significantly impact your health and happiness, no matter your age. Don't accept decline as inevitable. Take some of these principles and see how they feel in your own life. Experiment, find what works for you, and stick with it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think of his ritual? Are there any parts that resonate with you? Have you tried any of these habits yourself? Share your experiences and questions in the comments below. Let's start a conversation. Your insights could help someone else watching this. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel and lets me know this kind of content is valuable to you. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. I share practical, evidence-based information and insights to help you live your best life, focusing on health and vitality as you age. Don't miss out on future videos that could offer more simple, powerful ways to improve your well-being. Remember, small changes, consistently applied, can lead to extraordinary results over time. You have more control over your health than you might think. Embrace the power of simple habits and live your best life at every age.